It was written off as a dino coin.
Dinosaur.
But after years of litigation and sideways price action, XRP has exploded back into the limelight. And the catalyst was simple. Trump is back in, Gary Gensler is out, and the regulatory shackles are finally coming off of Ripple. It was a recipe for a parabolic repricing, and the results were delicious. But what if this is just the beginning? Crypto has entered uncharted territory, and with Washington's war on crypto finally over, it's time to ask, what might the future hold for Ripple and XRP? Stay tuned to find out. XRP is a very old crypto, but it is also the third largest by market cap, sitting at around $50 billion north of Tether's USDT, at least at the time of shooting this video. And there is a reason for this, and it can't be put down to the fanaticism of the XRP army alone. So why is XRP a big deal? Well, when the XRP ledger launched in 2012, XRP became the first crypto to be neither a Bitcoin fork nor based on a proof-of-work consensus mechanism. By removing the mining component, the XRP ledger was able to process transactions much faster than Bitcoin and its derivatives. This was groundbreaking because it made fast payments a viable use case for blockchain for the first time. To put things into perspective, this was 3 years before Ethereum and 8 years before Solana was launched. It was the cypherpunk era, a simpler time when cryptocurrency was about decentralization and censorship resistance through Bitcoin and, to a lesser extent, its derivatives, Namecoin and Litecoin. Crypto was niche, underground, and libertarian, and the notion that financial institutions and governments would one day adopt it for whatever reason would have sounded crazy. But then along came Ripple, a tech startup with different ideas about who might be able to benefit from cryptocurrency. Ripple sought to improve upon the existing infrastructure for making cross-border payments, particularly between financial institutions. The XRP ledger was designed for this purpose, and the entire supply of its native coin, XRP, was pre-mined, with a very large portion given to Ripple and held in escrow. Now, Ripple's business model initially involved selling XRP to investors in the US. The SEC was extremely unimpressed by this and sued Ripple in 2020 for allegedly offering unregistered securities. This turned into a years-long, high-stakes courtroom drama in which the SEC sought to bleed Ripple dry with a $2 billion penalty and establish once and for all that cryptocurrencies were securities that belonged under its regulatory mandate. Ripple has since spent $150 million fighting the case, and at the time of making this video, it appears as if they have won quite decisively. The SEC has filed an appeal against the 2023 ruling that tipped the scales in Ripple's favor, but this isn't expected to accomplish much, especially with the new SEC top brass. With the end of the never-ending lawsuit now in sight and a newly pro-crypto regime in Washington, XRP looks like it just walked out of jail in the best shape of its life. The question is, what is next? Well, XRP has already undergone a parabolic repricing to a new all-time high, finally breaking a record set 7 years ago. Its market cap is bigger than Tether's. Is it underpriced at this point? Probably not, but then again, who knows? The future has literally never looked so bright for the US crypto industry, of which Ripple is one of the most powerful and most prestigious members. To be sure, bullish market conditions are bound to peter out at some point in the next 4 years, and probably sooner than later. But regardless of what happens to crypto prices, companies like Ripple will be free to continue pursuing their business goals unimpeded by combative regulators for the first time in recent history. If anything, the government appears poised to actively promote the crypto industry. Feels good, man. So the future is looking bright for both Ripple and XRP, although each on slightly different time horizons. Just how bright will depend on how favorable the policy and regulatory environment becomes in the next 4 years. It also may depend on President Trump's personal feelings towards Ripple. As we now have a meme coin dev in the Oval Office and 2 houses of Congress full of politicians who owe crypto a favor, we think there are grounds to be optimistic. Let's recap how we got here and the scale of the political debt now owed by US politicians to crypto industry donors. Last year, the US crypto industry pumped an enormous amount of money into electoral campaigns to replace anti-crypto politicians with pro-crypto ones. The main vehicle for this spending spree was Fairshake, the crypto industry's new non-partisan super PAC. Behind Fairshake is crypto's very own Migos, a dream team consisting of Ripple, Coinbase, and A16Z. Each gave around $50 million to Fairshake during the 2024 election cycle, making them by far the largest contributors to its $227 million war chest. And if you're thinking, wow, $227 million sounds like a lot for one industry to contribute to electoral spending, you're absolutely right. Crypto accounted for nearly half of all corporate spending in the 2024 election, according to a report by Public Citizen. No other interest group or industry was even close. In second place was Coke Industries, which raised $26 million during the 2024 election cycle. So, Fairshake raised almost 10 times as much as the next largest corporate donor. This is all the more remarkable because, until 2024, the crypto industry's influence over American elections was virtually zero, with the notable exception of Sam Bankman-Fried giving tens of millions of dollars to Democratic candidates during the 2022 election cycle. 2022 turned into a real train wreck for crypto, thanks to a string of disasters culminating in the collapse of FTX. The industry spent 2023 licking its wounds and getting kicked by the SEC when it was down. But at some point in 2023, Fairshake was founded and set about coordinating crypto's quiet transition from survival mode to attack mode. Little is known about Fairshake's origin story, as Ripple, Coinbase, and A16Z won't discuss how the PAC was formed, who hired whom, nor their ongoing relationship with Fairshake management. And yet, just 1 year after Fairshake was founded, it made the crypto industry by far the biggest source of corporate campaign donations in the US. To put this into perspective, crypto corporations' cumulative spending on US elections already amounts to 15% of all known corporate contributions since the Supreme Court's 2010 ruling in Citizens United. That ruling prohibited the US government from restricting corporate spending on US elections, and this brought about a new golden age of corporations going on shopping sprees for politicians. Corporate spending increased steadily after 2010, but no industry has ever taken the Citizens United ball and run with it quite as much as crypto did in 2024. The crypto industry is now second only to the fossil fuel corporations in total election spending since 2010. Bear in mind, it took the fossil fuel industry 14 years to spend a cumulative $176 million to date. Meanwhile, the crypto industry spent $129 million over the last 3 election cycles, 92% of which was spent only in 2024. This level of spending is unprecedented, and we probably have it to thank for the suddenly extremely pro-crypto posture from the US government. The new composition of the House and the Senate are the clearest evidence of this. Of the candidates Fairshake backed in congressional races, 85% were victorious. In each case, we can see how Fairshake gave millions of dollars to help dethrone skeptical lawmakers and install friendly ones. However, the backstory of Donald Trump's own pivot from crypto skeptic to meme coin dev is less clear. Trump launched his first NFT collection in December 2022, so he had been dabbling in crypto for quite some time prior to the 2024 election cycle. But it wasn't until March 2024 that he started speaking positively about crypto in public. Trump started small, initially telling CNBC's Squawk Box, quote, "I make money with it. I have fun with it too. Crazy new currencies, that's what I call them." Something must have happened between March and July, because by July 27th, he was the keynote speaker at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, telling the crowd that he wanted the future of crypto to be mined, minted, and made in America. Who Trump met and what persuaded him to become a full-blown activist during that period is a question we can't answer yet. However, we do know that Trump values loyalty, tends to take things personally and holds grudges. Business leaders are well aware of this and now scrambling to get in his good books. Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Apple's Tim Cook, Uber's Dara Khosrowshahi, and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman all donated millions of dollars to Trump's inaugural fund. But no one has kissed the ring quite so lovingly as Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg's perfectly timed rebrand from Silicon Valley Square and Trump critic to Joe Rogan guest seems like a private performance for Trump that just happens to be taking place in public. As one former Meta executive told Yahoo Finance, quote, "King Donald is up there and Mark is afraid of him. He's a chameleon bowing to the king." After donating handsomely to Trump's inaugural fund, Zuckerberg enjoyed a front-row seat to the inauguration on January 20th. That evening, he hosted a black tie reception for political donors to celebrate Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. Zuckerberg has also visited Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida, where he reportedly gifted Trump a pair of Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I could keep going, but you get the idea. Zuck is a little on the extreme end, but he's not the only tech leader that is falling over themselves to get into Trump's good books. Their strategy? Well, donating hundreds of millions of dollars even well after Trump's election victory. Sources in Trump's team told Axios that they expect to raise about $500 million in donations by the summer. Although he can't run again in 2028, Trump is keen not to be seen as a lame duck in his second term. By amassing an enormous pile of cash, he is flexing his readiness to help political allies, punish opponents, and ensure that Republicans keep control of Congress at the 2026 midterms. A source inside Trump's team told Axios, quote, "The money is just pouring in at Mar-a-Lago. Trump doesn't even have to lift a finger. Everyone's coming to him. We're looking at $500 million by June, and we're on track." And the most generous givers? Well, it should be no surprise by now. The source continued, quote, "The crypto guys are just blowing it out. It used to be $1 million was a big number. Now we're looking at some folks giving $10 million or $20 million. So crypto is on a hot streak in Washington, and the industry is keen to keep up the momentum. And unlike former Trump critics like Mark Zuckerberg, crypto leaders are not in need of mercy from the new president. Having never gotten on Trump's bad side, they can aim much higher than just reconciliation. And if Trump's impromptu meme coin launch was anything to go by, crypto can look forward to a very favorable treatment over the next 4 years. Recently, however, there was some controversy over a certain crypto industry bigwig breaking with the MAGA Crypto Alliance. Ripple co-founder Chris Larseny donated $11.7 million, including $10 million worth of XRP, to Kamala Harris's campaign. This made him Harris's third largest individual donor, although, depending on when the campaign liquidated the XRP holdings, they could have sold for more like 50 to 60 million, and this would make Larseny the biggest Harris donor. Of course, this is just conjecture, and the Harris team could have paper-handed XRP at 50 cents for all we know. At any rate, it was a conspicuous defection from an otherwise pro-Trump crypto industry bench. For reference, even at $11.7 million, Larseny's contribution as an individual donor was far larger than the donations made by his industry peers to Trump. Mark Andreessen gave Trump $5.5 million, Ben Horowitz gave him $2.5 million, and the Winklevoss twins gave $2.5 million. On the other hand, Ben Horowitz had a bit of a change of heart and later gave $2.5 million to the Harris campaign. And moreover, perhaps most importantly, all of these donations, including Larseny's, are peanuts compared to the $240 million given to Donald Trump by Elon Musk. Nevertheless, there has been some speculation that Trump will neither forgive nor forget Larseny's transgressions. This is a story that began with the aforementioned Axios article from earlier. In it, Trump was quoted telling representatives of an unidentified company, quote, "You guys made this amount of money last year and you're going to make so much more now because of me. But when I needed you, where the were you? You weren't with me and maybe you were with Kamala Harris." It bears repeating that the company in question was unidentified. There was no indication in Axios' report that it was even a crypto company. However, the Unchained podcast cited two unnamed sources who claimed that Trump had been talking to none other than Ripple. If true, Trump's grudge could potentially be a spanner in the works for XRP, which has been floated as a prime candidate for inclusion in a potential future America First crypto reserve of cryptos of US origin. I know it sounds bonkers, but this is the timeline we are living in. The New York Post reported recently that Trump was receptive to the idea of creating such a reserve. And frankly, if he is taking the idea of a Bitcoin reserve seriously, then American-made cryptos should be right up his street too. And if you don't find the New York Post convincing, Ripple's own senior director of communications, Susan Hendrick, confirmed to Unchained that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had personally encouraged Trump to diversify the potential crypto reserves beyond BTC. Garlinghouse's exchange with Trump was also reported by the New York Times, although notably that report did not mention how Trump reacted. Still, if that doesn't scream Ripple is lobbying for a strategic XRP reserve, then I don't know what does. Dare we dream? It seems fanciful, but in the Trump era, truth is frequently stranger than fiction. Now, imagine if this reserve of homegrown altcoins sees the light of day at some point, only for XRP to be left out in the cold because Chris Larsen couldn't keep his coins to himself. That would be very petty, but Trump is not known for his magnanimity. And if you don't think American businesses should fear getting on Trump's bad side, take another look at Mark Zuckerberg. At this point, we must of course remind you that we are pouring speculation on top of speculation. But this story is intriguing, so bear with me. Unchained also cited anonymous sources who speculated that the New York Post report, the one that said Trump was receptive to the idea of this reserve of American-made cryptos, was in fact a rumor seeded by Ripple executives themselves. Now, why would they want to do a thing like that? Ripple's holdings of XRP have already appreciated by $125 billion since the election. Surely they would have no motive to insinuate bullish XRP narratives into the news like that? For what it's worth, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderotti, vigorously denied that the New York Post story was a rumor planted by Ripple. He wrote on X, quote, "Wow, unnamed sources? Here's a named source, me. The rumors published by this third-tier crypto rag are pure fiction, completely made up. Wonder who's behind this." We don't know what the truth is, but it sure makes you think. What exactly is the relationship of centralized issuers of cryptocurrencies like Ripple to the information economy that fuels demand for their cryptos? Issuers stand to benefit enormously from bullish rumors and only have a material interest in dispelling such rumors if they themselves are suspected of seeding them. Well, at any rate, bullish XRP stories are not going to go away, and some of them may even be true. Will we see a made in the USA crypto reserve? It sounds a bit like a meme, so let's wait and see if the Bitcoin one arrives first. Was Trump really mad at Ripple because of Chris Larsen's donation to Harris? There is no evidence this is true, but it's plausible. If so, could Trump forgive Ripple for Larsen's sins? Probably, because Ripple donated $5 million to his inaugural fund, maybe as an atonement. All things considered, we're pretty sure Ripple is still in Trump's good books and can now look forward to many sunny days outside of the courtroom. As for XRP, its market cap is eye-watering, and we don't know if it can pull any more multiples from here. If it does, though, it will probably flip ETH, unless ETH gets its skates on. If that flippening does happen, though, it would likely trigger an existential crisis in the Ethereum community and leave many ETH maxis quite traumatized. Listen, it wouldn't be an XRP video without a lot of speculation. Anyway, If you made some gains during XRP's rise from 50 cents to above $3, it's never a bad idea to take some profits. Waiting for higher might make you rich, but it might also cause you to hold XRP all the way back to 50 cents when the bear market inevitably arrives. This is not financial advice. It's just a suggestion that you consider downside risk from time to time. Stay safe out there, and if you do want to trade XRP, then be sure to take advantage of the handsome sign-up bonuses you can get when you make an account through the Coin Bureau Deals page. That's linked to down below. And you can also check out our most recent XRP update video. That's right over here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel right over here. This is Nick, signing off.